Hello guys, welcome to yet another episode of the mental health segment on the Maisha Today show. I hope you enjoyed last week's segment where we talked about anxiety, its causes and remedies of anxiety. Today we are going to talk about a very important topic that is eating up Ugandans, especially in the second wave of the pandemic. We've had some people losing lives to it, and this is depression. What is depression? Depression is a sudden loss of interest in your day-to-day activities. You lose interest in the people around you, you lose interest in making relations with people, you lose interest in doing the activities that you have to do day-to-day. You lose interest like going to office or studying. And this it has causes, it has types, and it has also natural remedies. Today, I'm going to talk about the types of depression. I'm going to talk about the types of depression, I'll give you the natural remedies, and I will also be giving you the causes of depression. Some of the types of depression we have are there's major depression, the one that is the commonest in Africa and maybe in Uganda. Major depression it can affect anybody or anyone. And it doesn't mean that for people to be depressed, it means they have sad people around them or that they have unfortunate circumstances are happening around them. No, anybody is prone to depression. Yeah, and it doesn't mean that somebody who's depressed has major depression is always frowning and sad. No, people who are smiling next to you might be battling depression, but you don't know. Today I'm going to show you the signs and symptoms to look out for. Then another type of depression is persistent PDD, which is persistent depressive disorder. This is like a second phase of general depression or major depression, where it's like almost severe, where you suffer with repetitive depression symptoms. Then the third one is bipolar disorder, where you have extreme happiness and extreme sadness. That's also a form of depression. Have you met people who can get extremely happy and then extremely sad, or extremely tough and extremely sympathetic? Those are people with bipolar disorder, and I will give you some of the remedies. Another one is seasonal affective disorder. This one comes about when you're in certain seasons of your life. For example, people who have lost loved ones are prone to getting this type of disorder, where you grieve and then get lost in the grief and end up being depressed. Another one is psychotic depression. This is the one that people see actually, where it has now come out in your signs and symptoms. Yeah, the signs and symptoms have now come out, and people can actually see that you're actually a depressed person. And it can also affect your brain. Yeah, you see that your brain is not functioning normally. Yeah. Then another one is peripartum or postpartum depression. Actually, I'm looking forward to hosting somebody to talk about that major topic, because I think all mothers, everybody that gives birth goes through postpartum depression, and I'd like to have somebody share about it. Another one is premenstrual dysphoric disorder, where this one affects the girls. Towards having your menstrual period, you end up being depressed because, there's a sudden emotional, turmoil. Then I'm going to give you the common causes of depression. And the first one is genes. Some people, this might be hard to believe, but depression is actually hereditary. Yeah. It's hereditary. You might be carrying it from a family line, especially the kind of depression that actually makes you run mad, yeah? The one which is psychotic. So look out in your genes and make sure that nobody in your family is carrying on genes of depression. Another one is gender. Have you heard about gender? I've already talked about the premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which majorly affects the female gender. So this is the type of depression that can affect you because you are female. And then the other one is major events in your life, like I'd already talked about, the type of depression that comes along where you are extremely sad and you're stuck there. If you're grieving, maybe you've lost someone in your life and you're extremely sad, or you've had a major failure in your life and you find yourself, you're extremely sad and you get stuck there and you end up being depressed. Another one is conflict. Conflicts around us affect us in one way or the other. We are all different people, but we are all prone to conflict. So how you handle your conflicts or conflicts around you will determine whether you will be depressed or not. So it's very, very advisable that we don't have long-term conflicts for a long time, because they end up affecting your brain and you end up being depressed. Another one is drugs. Excessive use of drugs or drug abuse can also make you very depressed, because it weakens your brain and your ability to take up emotions, or your emotional capacity is weakened because of drugs. So you might want to tone down that a little. Another one is age, especially people who are aged. That the older you become, the more prone you are to getting depression. Yeah. What do I mean? For example, people who have grown old and have to retire from their work or retire from their day-to-day schedule, they find themselves being depressed because they're idle and they don't know what to do with their time. So it's very easy for them to be depressed. And actually, people who die natural deaths or without diseases that can be seen or diagnosed physically or by a layperson are often killed by depression, especially the old people. So let us look out for our elderly people. Another one is abuse. The last one is abuse, especially in the earlier ages of your life. If you have been abused sexually, physically, and emotionally abused, it can easily take you down to depression. There are so many remedies of depression, but I try to get out the natural remedies, especially because not all of us have access to therapy or can even afford therapy. So I tried to pick out the remedies, the remedies you can carry out. But the first advice I have is for us to identify our triggers. What is triggering you into this depression? Could it be death of a loved one? Could it be the fact that maybe you have jumped out of a normal routine? Then maybe you can know how to treat your depression if you're treating it, if you're self-treating. The second one is mindfulness. Mindfulness is where you be present in the moment. Try as much as possible to do activities that enable you to be present in the moment. For example, if you are cooking or working on a project, don't think about any other thing. Think about what is in front of you. Do vigorous. I encourage you to do activities that need your brain. Yeah. For example, writing a project or something, so that your brain can be active and not dormant to cause you to be depressed. The another one is meditation. Meditation is almost the commonest natural remedy to depression, because you are it helps you to pay attention to your body, mind, and soul. You be present and listen to how maybe your body reacts or how your mind reacts to certain activities around you. And another one is exercise. It doesn't have to be these core exercises. It doesn't have to be these core exercises we have in of people going to the gym and then they're sweating out. No, you just do simple, relaxing exercises that are going to help your mind to relax and be present and not think about the challenges or the future. People who are often depressed, they don't think about what is present. They always think about what is in the future or what is in the past. So do exercises that help you to think about the present. Yeah, that's why people advise yoga a lot. I personally don't do yoga. I don't know how to do it, but if you can do it, well and good. Another one is nutrition. You need to change your nutrition. Well, researchers have shown that sometimes when you overtake nutrition that cause hormonal imbalance, diet, an imbalanced diet that causes you to have a hormonal imbalance, it can cause you to be depressed. So check your diet and then have a balanced diet really in terms of nutrition. Then phone apps. We all have mobile phones, these mobile phones. Some apps have been created. People have sat down and have created apps that can actually detect your mood and send you quotes or solutions that can help you solve that problem. Another one is books. Read as many books, because the books, what we read in a long run is what we become or what we think about. So read especially books that are on mindset, yeah? Those purpose-driven lives. Books that are going to shift your mindset from where you are to where you need to be. That can also help. Another one is, the last one, or the second last, is online counseling. I think it's the cheapest form of counseling. You can get a counselor anywhere around the world to counsel you online. It's actually the cheapest because you don't need to move. If you're shy, you don't need to look at the person. You're just speaking through maybe a phone and you're getting remedies. And the last one, of course, is medication. But do not self-medicate. I don't advise you to self-medicate. Go and seek medical advice from a doctor, from a psychiatrist, from a therapist. Then when they prescribe for you, you can take antidepressants. And it's not a bad thing for you to have antidepressants. It's just you're trying to solve a problem, and that's okay. This brings us to the close of our show today, where we talked about depression. Please remember that it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay for you to be sad. It's okay for you to be happy, and it is okay for you to take a break, okay? Catch this and more episodes on Faraja TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Mwah.
Faraja TV, authentic African voices.